Good evening, rockers. Vegas Rock Goddess here on the Rocks. Total entertainment. Coming to you live from somewhere off the Las Vegas Strip. Today, I'm interviewing an amazing band only on the weekends. This band is from Knoxville, Tennessee. So we're going to get to know this band. All right, they're knocking on my door, so let's let them in. Hello.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful.
I'm impressed. I see three people.
I know, we all made it tonight.
That's great, but I am hearing some feedback though on your end.
We kill everything besides the mics. I think it's just 1, 2, and 3 is all we need.
Please stand by.
Okay, no worries.
Did we get it?
How about now?
Is that better?
Yeah, I don't hear any feedback.
Nice. We just
Fantastic. That's great.
Awesome.
Well, hey, thanks for coming on the show. I found you guys on TikTok. I mean, how crazy. A lot of bands I've been connecting with on TikTok. That's really the hottest platform right now for new music, new bands such as yourselves. So exciting right now to be on TikTok.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because we do all of our stuff, most of our stuff streaming just out on Twitch and YouTube and whatnot. And
right.
We've been taking all our clips of, cool moments or funny things and putting them on TikTok. And we've been seeing a lot of people that we've never heard of, never even met before, who just find us and follow us. And we've been seeing a lot of connection that way.
Yeah, and it's funny, your live performance really got my attention. And I mean, I saw you guys a couple times on my feet and I'm like, wait a second. And then I saw you again. I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop this time. You know what I mean? It's just like one of those things because I see and hear so many bands. It's hard for me to respond to everybody. So you guys lucked out the one extra moment I had, and here we are.
That's awesome to hear.
Grateful for your time. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
So
it was just really cool. You reached out and we were like, hey,
yeah,
it wants to talk to us.
This is a great platform. I have a lot of subscribers, pretty much from all over the world. So they're gonna get to know you tonight. And let's talk about a little bit about Knoxville. Tennessee is one of my heart states. I spent some time in Nashville earlier this year for Rock and Pod Fest there with Ron Keel and a bunch of other people, Eric Martin. I mean, the list goes on and on. And Tennessee really, to me, is a hotbed of rock and roll. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of bands just in our area that have started to come up recently. I mean, Justin, our the bass player over here. Say hi, Justin.
Right. Hey, Justin.
He's part of another band as well. And yeah, we're seeing a lot of that just around here. It's kind of crazy. A lot of local and like just original acts, some doing covers, some writing their own stuff, all getting followings and fans, from the local scene as well as, all over the place. And it seems to just be kind of growing out of nowhere almost,
Yeah, I mean, I think Nashville really is not a country music mecca anymore. And I think people are starting to realize this. Because the days of Tammy Wynette and you know what I mean? Those days are over, my friend. This is the country crossover mecca of the Midwest. So you guys are in really great company right now with a lot of great Knoxville bands. So tell us a little bit about how you guys came together as a band.
Well, I mean, it started about what, 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Something like that. Brandon, the drummer over here, we had gone to high school together, and he reached out to me a couple years ago because I was making just my own music and just putting it out, into the ether for no one to
Right.
listen to. And he reached out and said, "Hey, would you be interested in getting together and jamming and coming up with some ideas?" And so we did, and we, got together and we just kind of started throwing around ideas, covering some songs, kind of writing our own stuff. And then Justin, the drummer again, or the bass player, he wanted to join up because he also went to high school with us. And so we all kind of knew each other and got together. And this was all around when COVID was really starting to take off. And so everything was kind of shutting down, and we wanted to get out and play, and we wanted to, kind of play around town, because that's always kind of been the dream. It's like we never really, had any like real hopes of getting like super huge or famous or anything, but it's always been a dream to go and play at the local venues around town. And
Right.
we couldn't do that because everything
Exactly.
was shut down. Yeah, so Brandon he had the space downstairs in his house, and he kind of over time converted it into this makeshift studio, and we got everything wired up in this weird crazy way. And now we just decided, let's just try to stream this. Let's play online. We can get together and we can play together and then stream it out, and if people want to listen, great, and if not, then whatever, we're still having fun. And
I
over
mean,
time we've developed, people have listened and people have like noticed, and we've got fans from in town who are our own friends, and then fans from just everywhere in the United States that have just happened upon us at some point and said, "Hey, this is really cool," and everything's just kind of grown from that.
yeah, I mean, it's funny that, you mentioned pandemic. I mean, pandemic affected everybody very differently in the business. I was interviewing bands all through pandemic. And as I was interviewing bands, these bands were breaking up like minutes before air. And I mean, it was a very turbulent time, but I think a lot of great things have come out of that pandemic. I mean, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the just the restrictions of not being able to go anywhere, we probably wouldn't have leaned so heavily into streaming. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I
I
don't really
agree.
think so either. I mean, for a time, we really saw it, as like the path to organic growth and like a market, but we only found that again because of streaming. So,
Mhm.
or because of COVID season.
Yeah, I really think. What about the drummer over there? What's your name?
Brandon.
Oh, Brandon. What are your thoughts on this whole thing since pandemic?
Yeah, so I was definitely worried about it because I think we all sort of had the itch to get out there and get in front of people. But it forced us to be a little creative, a lot creative actually, to get all of this in here working the way that we wanted to. And it's been really good for us because we've got a pretty small online audience that are kind of regulars now. They hop in when we stream, and a lot of these people can't really get out in the evening to come see us. So it gives them a chance to see what we've got going on. So it's been really good.
Yeah, and I think you guys are really hitting it right on the head. You guys came in at the perfect time. As you know, in this business, timing is everything. So now you guys are recording, right? You guys are recording new music. Tell us a little bit about what you guys have been up to.
Well, our recording process at the moment is basically just we'll take good runs that we have from our streams, because everything that we do is done in this like makeshift studio that we have, and it runs through two different boards, one for his drum mic. So the only real live sound in the room is Brandon's drums, and then Justin and I are feeding in through our floor units into like a mixing board that goes to his computer. And so we'll make recordings whenever we practice. And but for the most part, the stuff that we put out online and on like our social media and stuff is we'll do a stream, and during our stream we'll play all sorts of different music. We'll take requests from people and try things that we've never tried before and just kind of have fun. And every now and then we'll have a really good run of one of the songs that we do. And when that happens, we take it and we take that audio and we mix it up a little bit, you know. So it's pretty dirty, it's pretty raw. It's not really it's really not professional at all. We're trying to do this all ourselves, but at the same
Right.
time, there's a quality to it that we all find really really enjoyable. It's like it hits a certain way. And right now we're focusing on just kind of upping our repertoire, because we really want to get out there and start playing more at venues, because we've played at a few, but right now we're focusing on making all these other covers come together. And in the process, we're working on getting clean runs during our practice times of these different songs, so that we can take the stems from like the live recordings and then mix them up into more of like a studio version of the
Right.
songs. But that's going to come from basically anything that you hear from us is a live take. Like we don't have anything that we sit down with a metronome and play to a click or anything. Everything that we play is live. And so every recording that you hear from us is live as well. So it's a bit of a give and take, but at the same time, like Brandon said, that sort of restriction has kind of fostered this creativity, and we've had to be
Right.
creative in how we record our stuff. So
Right.
now the stuff that's out there is a little bit limited as to what we actually have out there, but we're still like, we're always working on making new takes and making new mixes of our different songs.
Which is great. Now, do you all collaborate together as far as like new material?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. What I don't know a band that doesn't, right? Like,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
hard not to. Buddy can kill himself. But
Right. Like who's
No,
the main
no,
songwriter?
yeah, that'd
Um,
be
well, yeah, I guess in terms of writing the songs, that would be me. But what usually happens is I'll come in like with an idea, or I'll have like a melody or a lick or a riff or some sort of a lyric that comes as an inspiration, and then we'll lay it out there. Like one of us will have an idea, whether Justin has a riff, or Brandon's got an idea of something that he had in mind, and we'll throw it out there, and we'll basically just jam with it, and kind of like tossing it around like a beach ball. It's like while we're playing, we're kind of figuring it out as we go. We'll jam on it a lot until we find different things that we did within that jam that we like, and over time the song kind of constructs itself almost. There have been a few times where we've come in with fully written songs ideas and then basically taught it to each other, but all of our songs come about differently. And it seems like it all just depends on somebody having an idea, and then the rest of us kind of giving our take or what we think of that idea, and all kind of collaborating on that.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, there have been some times where Zach will come in and just kind of, as we're sort of warming up and getting plugged in, he's playing a riff that he's kind of been practicing on, and we'll just jump in before we even start practice. And it's but it's
Hey, don't
turned
even talk
into
about it. We're here to play.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
got this one song called Pumpkin Spice, and it was all because Justin was warming up on bass, and he was playing some like bass melody or bass line that he really liked, and we all thought it was really cool. And Brandon started playing drums to it, and I think I was like changing a string on my guitar or something, and I came back in and I started kind of like playing a little melody along with it, and that's become one of our favorite songs that we play now. And like after that, after like enough of it is done, then it's like, okay, let's write lyrics to this. Okay, let's define a structure that we can follow to make this an actual song. It's like we feel like once there's enough pieces that are there, that once we found enough pieces that we know we can make a song, we put it all together and we put the finishing touches on it, and then boom, we got a new song.
And you release it to the world.
Yeah, exactly. And what's fun is that as we stream, because we used to stream a lot more, but we've been doing some live shows here the last couple months, and so we've been streaming less and less and really devoting more time to practicing. But over the streams, going back, you can hear like the evolution of the songs. Like we'll play this one week, and then the next week we'll play it, but it's like, oh, we changed it up a little bit, and the next week, oh, we changed it up a little bit, and then a year down the line, it's just like, oh, we have the finished version of the song. But then you go back, a year earlier to one of our streams where we were messing around with it, and it's similar but almost completely different. And so that's one of the things that I found that our fans really enjoy, is that as they tune in and as they kind of follow us, they get to watch these ideas sort of form over time and watch us play around with them and experiment until we find something that we like. and that we really settle in on. And that whole process, I think, has been one of the things that really keeps us really engaged and really, really just pumped to get together and to keep playing, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's one thing out of pandemic that happened. It forced bands to collaborate with maybe people or individuals that they've never really collaborated with before because they couldn't go anywhere. So, what better time to write new music?
For sure. For sure. When you're stuck inside, it's like, what else can you do? So
Right.
strum on your guitar and
Right.
write some sad lyrics.
But I think 23 and going into 24 is going to be a great time for bands really now to break out all that new material.
Mhm. Definitely.
For
Definitely.
sure. Now, where are some of the places that you guys have been playing out?
Well, there have been a couple spots that are downtown, which in Knoxville we've got the Market Square, which is like the hub of all the music. And recently we were able to play at the Preservation Pub and the Scruffy City Hall, which are down there. Which are the Preservation Pub is more of like a bar venue with a small stage where you play music all night, and we got to play that, which we were thrilled about because that's
It's a big spot there.
it's a very big
Yeah.
spot. It's a very big spot. Like all the bands that the name of around town play Preservation Pub. And then Scruffy City Hall is more of a music hall where it's time to give like a show, like a performance. And after we did Preservation Pub, we got the offer to do Scruffy City Hall, and we were just blown away. Like we couldn't believe it. Or we were, playing at a couple smaller bars, some open mics, stuff like that. A place in Sevierville called the Roaming Gnome. We played there a couple times. Place Ridge Runners up in Oak Ridge. We played there. Like smaller like bar venues. All a lot of fun because we're psyched to get up and play. We have so much fun, and that's what really drives us. Is because when we get up there, it's just like, oh my god, we can't believe that they're actually paying us to be up here. We do this in our basement for
Right?
free, and it's like they're paying us to be up here, and we just get amped. And man, the Scruffy City Hall was really a highlight. It's like we got there and we were like, oh my god, we did it. And then after that show, we were like, okay, let's take a step back. Let's really focus. Let's nail down a performance for a stage. Let's nail down a set list, something that we can just groove on for 3 hours in a bar if we need to.
Right.
And so that's really been it. And so here going into 2024, like you said, it's going to be a time for a lot of bands to break out, and that's what we're really focused on. Is now once everything starts opening up at the beginning of the year, we're going to go in with this big repertoire, all this stuff we've been working on to be able to just hit the ground running. And that's really going to be our focus coming in this new year. It's getting back there, playing at Market Square, maybe playing some more places in Pigeon Forge and Oak Ridge, because there's so many venues around here, and there's so many different types of venues that all support every type of music. Like there's local rock, local blues, bluegrass, like folk, and everything in between. We've got some metal acts around here. There's a band called Summoner Circle. They paint their faces white with like the black paint, and they've got like the hoods on. They play heavy death metal, and they're huge. They opened up for what was it, Children of Bottom?
Yeah.
They opened up like a year ago. It was crazy, and from Knoxville, just right here. And then you also got the folk acts, guys with stand-up basses, mandolins, everything. They might be playing next door to each other. It's crazy.
It's a big melting pot in Tennessee in general for all kinds of music now. It's not just, there's no categories anymore. I mean, when music is there, the people show up, which is half the battle. So, hey, tell me, what are your musical influences for this band?
Let's go around the circle. Hey, Justin, let's start with you because we've been getting into. When you're talking about there's not really genres or anything anymore. We started with like sort of a punk rock, sort of thing, but we've been getting into more blues. We've been getting into some funk. Brandon's got some stuff cooking up, which is some more like electronic sort of fusion stuff that we've been working on. So, but we've been working on a lot of Justin stuff here recently. So, Justin, would you mind?
Yeah. No, so I am also a guitarist, and I've grown up, playing all my life. I started out listening to a lot of classic rock, and I remember just as a kid falling in love with Stevie Ray Vaughan was always like that kind of Texas blues. My dad used to have it going, and that was something that sold me. I remember that was one of the musicians where I hear him ripping that thing apart, and I'm like, I want to do that. That's so cool.
Right?
I started with a lot of the blues stuff, and then later on, I found got more back to the roots and found like the soul funk genre, and then in the last few years, a lot of my like listening personally has been delved into either hip hop or math rock, which is like really weird, complex, nerdy music, building polyrhythms and weird time signatures. But it's complex, and I think the thing I like about it is it's not always really palatable to the ear, but when it is, and you still have like a little bit of groove in the weirdness, it's so cool. So I feel like I've been kind of listening, trying to deconstruct the magic for myself a little bit.
Well, that's cool. That's great, because you wouldn't believe some of the heavy metal guys that I've interviewed. Their influences, yeah. Run DMC. They're bringing up LL Cool J, old Eminem. I mean, there's a lot of influences in metal now. Total influences.
Oh yeah.
It's that beat and that groove, you get that from hip hop, especially that classic hip hop, and that
Right.
beat and groove and that vibe translates no matter what.
Exactly. Exactly.
Whatever gets
So-
you moving.
So Brandon, what about you?
Musically, I'm pretty wide open with where I draw influence from. I grew up in the I was in high school in the the early 2000s, so lots of Offspring, Blink-182, Green Day, that sort of ether.
Right,
But I listened to I listened to a lot of metal though. In my off time, and so the pop metal blends every now and then, and it makes for some really interesting patterns. But yeah, it's about it for me.
That's it for you, huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
Let's see. For me, when I was growing up, in the house we were only really allowed to listen to like contemporary Christian music. It was really no secular music that we were allowed to listen to. But when I would ride with my dad anywhere, he would always have the classic rock station pulled up. I see your Poison shirt. Yeah, I used to listen to Bret Michaels on the radio,
Right.
along with Guns N' Roses, or his favorite band was Foghat, which
yeah,
they had that
slow ride.
Exactly, and it was that old. It was like, I mean, I say old, but it was that older style of just like the grooving rock, like the rock and roll,
Old school rock.
Yes, it was that groove that was in the heavy guitars and in the loud vocals and stuff, and that's what really always drew me in. But I mean, I grew up in like church choir and marching band and stuff, so I have a huge love of like classical music and like influences like Tchaikovsky, like old like Swan Lake, the ballets, and like the just like that swelling orchestral music and like just the dynamic range of stuff like that. Like that like hits me to a core for some reason, especially when I was younger. But I remember when I was in high school, a buddy of mine had the first generation iPod. CJ, you remember CJ Coffee?
Yeah.
He had the first generation iPod, and he let me listen to it, and he had Black Math by the White Stripes. And I heard that song and I was like, what the hell is this? I love it because it was just dirty, and it was like unhinged, but it was like it made me want to move and it made me want to dance. And I fell in love with the White Stripes for years and years and years. And along with that, like Brandon said, Blink-182, like that classic punk stuff. And then recently it's been more of the more of like a lot of the pop of the last decade, really. I've really enjoyed. Just yesterday we were here practicing, and we pulled out a Taylor Swift song just to see if it was any fun, and it was super fun. And so we're gonna play a Taylor Swift rock cover. But we already cover a Miley Cyrus song. I mean, we cover Ed Sheeran, and we find, as a group, I think we're able to appreciate those good like good songwriting and good melodies. And even if it's not in a genre that any of us really care to listen to on its own, when we do our own thing with it, it's so much fun. And so what I love is that we have our own influences, and then Justin might be playing blues guitar, but then I'll be over here and I'll be playing funk bass, and then Brandon will start playing punk drums, and we get this weird fusion that's just you never really know. We never really know what we're going to get whenever we start playing together, because we've just kind of accepted that we play how we play and our styles are what they are. And whenever it's like we all feel like we have full liberty to just kind of give our own interpretation of what we're doing, because I think those different influences that we have really is what makes any group special, you know?
Oh yeah,
It's
for
like
sure.
if we all wanted to sound like Shinedown, then we could be a fun Shinedown cover band, you know?
Right.
Which saying that, which I do want to
Yeah.
pull out Devour, by the way.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. But yeah, but that being said, it's like we'll still cover Foo Fighters because we
Yeah.
love that song.
Right.
You know, we still
But
cover Stevie Wonder because we love that song. You know?
you've mentioned, kind of a rock revival. I got to tell you, the trends that are coming are going to be more like Bachman Turner Overdrive, Foghat, that 70s sound
Yes.
is
Yes.
coming back full force.
You're hearing that on mainstream radio right now.
Greta Van Fleet's
Right.
a prime
Greta
example
Van
of that.
Fleet.
Exactly.
You're hearing Dirty Honey.
Dirty Honey.
I mean,
What
those
a
are big
great
songs
band. I
right now.
saw them live. They are amazing. They have that 70s vibe. And a lot of these metal bands are starting to kind of come on board with that. So 24 is going to be an interesting year for the way music and the direction it's going to go.
I hope so, because we definitely have an interesting vibe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and hearing that, I
You
feel like
do.
we're
You
poised to
do.
jump in pretty well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
so
that's the
what
thing,
are
it's
your
like,
what are your plans now for 24? Like, are you guys going to get back out in the studio? You're going to get on the road? You're going to play more gigs, which you said you guys are going to.
yeah, right now Justin's kind of been working on a plan to kind of get us in front of more local venues. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, basically right now what we're doing is tightening up the cover repertoire and then also getting into like open mics and kind of networking across the local scene a little bit more. Just we ourselves have been musicians but haven't really been as active participants in the local scene as we could have been.
Yeah, we have
Right.
a tendency to kind of sit here in our little basement studio and stream out to people who are also at home.
So it's
Well,
twofold. We've got putting some new covers
you
together
guys
and
can't, I tell you, you guys can't get too comfortable. You'll never make it to Vegas.
Oh yeah.
We'd love to come out to Vegas and see you.
I'm
Oh,
telling
man, can
you,
you
I
imagine
mean,
playing in the Sphere?
Right.
You
What would
guys-
we put on
Oh,
the
yeah.
dome?
You guys would have fun because these Brandon and Justin, they're both coders, right? Brandon is big into creating his own tech, coding it out. He's gotten into digital art and like CG rendering and stuff. I bet you could put something together for the Sphere.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good weekend project for you, right?
oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, let me tell you, this town is going music crazy. They're reopening clubs that were closed during COVID now.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
yeah, so you're going to see a lot of new venues opening up in Vegas in 24.
Mhm.
But yeah, can't
book
wait
us.
to see you guys perform live. I know the little tidbits on TikTok, but we need to see you live up close.
We love it. Yeah, and that's one of the big plans that we have, because we have been so kind of dedicated to our streaming audience this past year, and these, the few shows that we have had really got us aware of hey, we're ready for this. Because when we're in
Right.
here, we're doing our own thing. It always kind of feels like, oh, we're, it's hard to look at ourselves objectively and think, oh, we're at that level. Are we good enough to play at a local show? I don't know. We're good enough to stream and make mistakes and make fun of ourselves. But when we got up, when we got up on those stages, it's, it realized it's like, hey, we're comfortable here. We know we can do this. So let's tighten it up and let's focus on that, because that was always kind of the dream when we started. But because of the pandemic, we pivot
Right.
to the streaming, and then the streaming becomes so much fun. And then we're like, hey, what are we doing? Let's get out there and let's perform. You said something about touring. I don't know about touring. That's going to be something that we're going to talk about later down the line, because all of us have full-time jobs, because we love playing, Doesn't pay very much, but you
Hey.
know,
I can work from the road. I'm good.
yeah, you two can work from the road. I can't do counter sales from the road, but you know, I might look at a change of
Hey,
career
I
if that's
feel
the
you,
case.
man. I feel
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Trust
you know what I'm
me.
talking about.
But yeah, I mean, how did you guys come up with only on the weekends? I mean, it's kind of obvious, but I want to hear it from you.
It's the only time we could practice.
Yeah, for a long time that was the only time because we all worked full-time jobs. You
Right.
know, we had prior commitments and stuff, but we were so much fun that, you know, we'd get together on the weekends and everything, and then, you know, do that. And as it's become more serious, now we do everything during the week. We don't do
Right.
anything on the weekends anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of now the
ironic.
meaning of the band name has kind of flipped to where it's like only on the weekends. That's our rest day, our rest days.
You know what? You're funny because Vegas is a 24/7 town. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, the next 4 days, there's stuff going on. There's bands playing at little clubs and everything. So that kind of resonates now with a lot of bands. I mean, you're seeing a lot of these good bands, they're playing during the week.
Mhm.
You know, it's not so much on the weekends anymore.
Right.
So yeah, had the only on the weekends, you know, title of your band, but it's true. You guys have to get out and play whenever you can.
Absolutely. And it's kind of the band name is kind of taken on a bit of a mantra because it's like you know, as we've gotten more comfortable, you know, playing and stuff, it's kind of like by doing this, it's almost like cathartic in a way, and we start to become more comfortable being ourselves
Right.
and really like not being like ashamed or embarrassed about the things about ourselves that are silly or, you know, weird or that, you know, are different or not normal. And you know, it's always like society kind of wants you to fit into a box during the week, and it's like, hey, you know, be whoever you want, but you know, save it for the weekends. And it's like that's all kind of bull crap. You know,
Yeah,
you can be whoever you want at any point, and it's just
exactly.
until you start embracing that, it really is just something that just, you know, you, most of your life, you know, 5/7 of your life is just going to be spent being one person, and then you can truly be yourself on the weekends. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you know,
Well, you guys are great. Why don't you let the viewers know all your social media platforms where they can find more information about you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. We're on everything. I think we're on Twitter, X, but we don't ever post anything on there. So if they want to follow us in the spots that we're most active, it's always Instagram, TikTok. You know, on Instagram, our handle is, what is our handle? You know what? I've got a little document that has all of our socials on it. Why don't I
Linktree,
pull that
right?
up?
You
This
guys are
is
on Linktree. They
Yeah,
can
we've got a
find
link
all
tree.
your
yeah,
info.
we got a link tree. It's link, what is it? Link.tree/ only on the weekends. And then let's see. I've got it here. Oh, I've got it. Here it is. So Instagram is only on the weekends band is our handle. Let's see. Oh, TikTok isn't on here. Well, I just have to go to TikTok. And then TikTok is at only on the weekends band. So it's the same.
Yeah, same
Instagram,
thing.
YouTube, same thing. I
Right.
mean, you look up only on the weekends band on YouTube, you'll find our channel, and that's where we'll upload shorts and stuff. And we'll, like, when we're doing our streams, you know, we'll stop and we'll chat with the audience. We'll talk to each other about what's been going on that week, and sometimes we'll go on tangents about stupid stuff like aliens or AI or, you know, weird technology, and we'll make those into shorts and we'll put them on, you know, TikTok and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
but you know,
I like doing that, by the way, because it lets people to know how weird and how kind of goofy we are sometimes, you know, because
right,
we don't take ourselves too seriously, but
right. You
that's also
can't.
where we post clips and everything.
Right.
No,
Right.
you can't. You know, I don't want to be one of those bands that you know, you see pictures of us and we're all standing there in black leather jackets, like, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Then
I've
you never see
interviewed a
us
few of
smile, you
those.
never. Yeah, oh, I'm sure. And you know, more God bless them. You know, it's because everybody's trying to project an image, but what we want to project is that we are who we are, and sometimes it's dumb, and sometimes it's fun, and sometimes, you know, it does get serious. But you get all of that from us,
You're
and
ready to rock.
we're real comfortable, and yeah,
You're
we
just
are.
ready to
Oh,
rock.
we have so much fun.
I know.
That's all it is. We're just trying to have fun. What is
And
it, Motley
that
Crue?
was great because that's
Yeah.
what really attracted me to your band. And you guys are amazing. I want to have you back on next year to do a follow-up. So I'm really anxious to see you guys live. I want to hear some new material.
All right.
So
All right.
definitely keep in touch. And I want you guys to keep doing what you're doing because you're doing it good,
We appreciate
especially
that.
on TikTok and your live
Appreciate
streams.
that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Carol. Yeah, and I gotta say, when you reached out and we saw your message on TikTok, we're like, holy crap! You know, somebody saw us and somebody cares about what we're doing. You know, and it's not like just one of our friends saying, "Oh, you streaming tonight? That's cool," or somebody who normally watches us. It's like, and that's always the hope that maybe eventually somebody will see you. So I want to thank you for reaching out to us because we were psyched. We threw it up in our Discord saying, "Hey, somebody wants to interview us," and they're like, "Heck yeah, let's get on there." We looked at
Well,
your
you know what?
YouTube and your
I mean,
TikTok and stuff, and it
I
was legit. We
appreciate you
appreciate
guys
it.
coming on, and you guys are amazing. I really look forward to hearing, like I said, new stuff. I support all bands. I've had a great time doing this for the past 5 years, and I'm going to continue to do it in 24. So there's a lot more to come. And don't forget to did you guys check out all my rock videos on there on
Yeah,
TikTok?
no, we have perused your TikTok. Yeah, and
Oh
there
yeah,
is some cool stuff on there. Yeah,
yeah.
I see you out there in the local scene as well. You weren't lying about Las Vegas being hopping.
Oh yeah.
It's
I
really
mean,
cool to see.
it's crazy. There's stuff going on like every day in Vegas, and I can't wait to see you guys play here.
We'll be there.
Heck
It
yeah.
will be amazing. But keep doing what you're doing. Stay on it, you know? And you never know who's watching this, so
He is quitting anytime soon.
No, we have way too
exactly.
much fun to quit this. Honestly, I mean,
No,
we could make $0 for the next decade, and I can guarantee we'd still be in here just having
and
fun and doing what
don't
we love doing.
ever,
So.
if I can give you guys any advice, don't ever lose your passion for what you're doing, because there's people out there that admire you for that, because there's a lot of bands that are still struggling to get that passion back. And I think a lot of bands are getting their passion back for this business. So, and it's not all about the dollars anymore. It's about doing what you love.
100%.
So always keep that in the back of your mind.
That's great advice. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll talk soon. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you guys, and keep in touch.
We will. Thank you again for having us, Carol.
Thank you so
Peace
much.
out.
Take care. We'll see you soon.
All right.
What a great band. Only on the Weekends. These guys are super talented. They have a great setup there with the 3 cameras. Really impressed with that. Can't wait to hear them play live here in Vegas sometime soon. But we'll keep in touch. They will be on another future show for follow-up. This is a Vegas Rock Goddess on the Rocks, total entertainment, coming to you live from Vegas. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing to On the Rocks Total Entertainment, because you never know who will be on next.